Hello, it's Rich Rosen, founder and CEO of Fastcall, and I'm going to talk a little bit about provisioning phone numbers in Fastcall and basic inbound call routing. So let's start here. So I am in the Fastcall application. I'm under our admin settings, and I'm on phone numbers. I happen to be in Lightning. Um, these settings are available in Salesforce Classic as well. So let's start with there are two different types of phone numbers in the application. Here, there are provisioned phone numbers, which are provisioned from Twilio and set up in Fastcall. And those numbers are used both to receive inbound calls and also as caller ID. Now, there are other types of phone numbers in our application. And here in the same tab, we also put our verified phone numbers, which are used as caller ID, but do not receive inbound calls in Fastcall. These verified numbers are numbers that you own, such as a mobile phone or office phone. And a verified number can receive an inbound call, can be used for click to call, or be used as caller ID. The provisioned phone numbers can be used as caller ID or receive an inbound call. So we're in the application here under phone numbers. I'm going to click here, provision new phone number, and the application to say here in Hollywood, where I'm based in Los Angeles, and it's going to search for phone numbers. You will note in the capabilities will tell you whether it's voice or SMS. In some countries, phone numbers are not capable, do not have capabilities for both voice and SMS. And in other countries, mostly in the US, they do. So I'm not going to provision a number right now. I'll just pick one that's already, this one here has not been assigned. So here's a number that I provisioned not long ago, and I just need to um, assign it. Once a number is provisioned, of course, I can change the name, and I'm going to assign it. And for this example, I'm going to assign a number to a user. And then I can search here for the user. Let's just say, uh, here it is. And we want to make sure if we are going to use the number as caller ID, that's enabled. And if we're using the number for SMS, we also want to have that enabled. In this particular case, I am assigning the number to a user. If I assign the number to a group, then that number is going to route via the Fastcall IVR, interactive voice response, or ACD, automatic call distribution, but that's another video. Okay, so the number is assigned to a user, and then next thing what we need to do is we need to um, go and set up routing rules for this user. So right now this phone number is going to point to that user, but we need to tell the application, then what? What do we do? So we're going to go to the record for that user. So in this case, we're going to come back up to the user panel, and I'm going to go to the user here, and I'm looking at the user settings. I want to click here where it says change to user profile. And the user can also do this himself, herself on the user settings. But if you're the admin and you need to do this for the user, then you're going to change the user profile. So you're now seeing settings as the user. And we can six of one, half dozen of the other. But I'll just go to look at. So now this says I'm viewing as that user. And then when I want to go back, I'm going to click here to go back. So now that I'm looking at the settings for this particular user, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to see devices. And these are phones. The office phone and mobile phone come from the Salesforce user record. If they are wrong in Salesforce, they're going to be wrong here, but we take these automatically from the Salesforce user record, and then the user can add as many other devices as she wants. You just click here and you add. So these can be mobile phone, Office 2, Chicago, New York, conference rooms, anywhere you need to add an actual device, which is a hard phone. We do show you the soft phone here, but you're adding other devices underneath that. And these devices, again, can be used for outbound calls for click to call or to receive inbound calls. In this case, these are not used as caller ID. That was used, those were set up as phone numbers. So devices receive calls can be used for caller ID. Phones, which in some cases may end up being the same, are where we manage that number is used as a caller ID. If a phone is being used as a caller, if a device here is being used as a caller ID, the number needs to be verified, and we do that on the phone tab. Okay, so here's my devices. Where if I need to add any, I add any, and then the inbound routing is set here, and then I'll wrap up. So the inbound routing is managed for the user as a user setting, and the user either does it herself or, like we are now, the admin's doing it. And then these are inbound receivers. So in this particular case, where we have this set up is the user is going to receive the call on the soft phone for 20 seconds. If I wanted to add overflow, I could say, if the soft phone doesn't answer, ring the mobile phone, and let's just, for example, use the office phone together for, let's just say 20 more seconds. Why not? So this is overflow. So we're going to ring the mobile phone, the office phone together for 20 seconds, and if they don't answer, then we're going to go to the soft phone for 20 seconds, and then if there is voicemail set up, the call will go to voicemail. Now, Fastcall has other routing options under our advanced setup for the IVR, where we could route the call with advanced options. But for the user, we give simul ring, which is 2 at once, or overflow. If I delete the soft phone here, we're just using simul ring, so there's no overflow. So you pick the devices where you want to receive the call: mobile phone, office phone, and how long it's going to ring for. Down below, this is a call receiver used only for the ACD, and we treat these calls differently because a user can only answer an ACD call, which is a call routed to a group of users. Those users can only answer the call on one phone. A user assigned phone number can use simul ring or overflow. An ACD call can only answer on one phone. And that could be the office phone, mobile phone, soft phone, you pick, but it's only going to be one phone. But that's also managed here because each user receiving calls through the ACD has to have a device set. Okay, so they're set here. I did mention briefly that if there is a voicemail set up, if the call is not answered, you can enable voicemail. In this particular case, voicemail was not enabled, so I enable voicemail. That was under user settings. If there is no voicemail enabled after the call routing, the call just stops. And I'd pick my voicemail here. And these voicemails are recorded under the option for messages. So that's where the voicemail is recorded. Now, so voicemail is now enabled. So I have voicemail. If I did not, in this particular example, and it's worth mentioning, I'm ringing the mobile phone and office phone. Let's say I was ringing this for, let's say I wanted to ring this for 60 seconds, right? In this case, maybe not a great example, but one of these two voicemails would probably pick up in 60 seconds and kind of be whichever one gets it first. So if I have a 45-second time set on my office phone for voicemail, the office phone voicemail is going to answer the call. So it really doesn't matter that I had voicemail set up in Fastcall because our voicemail is not going to answer until after 60 seconds. You want to think about voicemail when you're using either a mobile phone or an office phone. And then one last thing I want to say before I finish. Here's the phone down here in Lightning. Your recent calls are here on the widget. These are inbound calls. A red arrow is a missed call, and the outbound calls, that's a voicemail. So you can see it might be a little small, but this call has a voicemail message. You can see I can play the voicemail, and we didn't match the caller ID, so it says unknown. Here's an inbound call that was also not matched, but it's an inbound call. And if it has a red arrow, that means that it was missed. Okay, so when an inbound call is ringing in the soft phone, you can answer the phone in the widget. Here, I'll do one. So in the soft phone, when a call comes in, the call is going to ring in the widget, and I can. So in this case, we matched. There was numbers associated to a test, but we matched the lookup to the record, which is called test test. I hung up, but we can answer the call. Matter of fact, let me do that again. The soft phone can answer the call in the widget. We'll just do that again so we can see it. The call's ringing. There's an optional disclosure. So the call's here. I can answer the phone here, and now the call's answered and giving us some feedback. So here the call is connected, the inbound call is connected, and it was answered in the soft phone. So just like an out and the subject automatically defaults to fast call inbound call, I can take notes and I could transfer the call, which were the options that would be here. I could pick a task pick list just as I would for outbound calls. The call results are unique to inbound. So if I wanted to end the call, I just do it here. I end the call, and then to close the task, I'm going to pick my call result. And these are unique call results set for inbound. So let me just say that was a customer service call. So that's answering the call in the soft phone. If the call, and I'd have to come back and do this, if that and this would be, let me just do this under, I'm just going to add, really matters here. Let's pick that phone and no simul ring, and I'd say 10 seconds, doesn't really matter. So now I'm going to, this is a different phone number, so I'm going to take off the routing for the soft phone on that phone number. So now I've set up that phone number to ring only on the mobile phone, so it's not going to ring in Fastcall. So I'm going to call that same number again, and I'm going to call the same number again, and the call's going to ring, but I'm not going to answer it in the soft phone. So I just want to show you what that looks like, and then we'll finish up. Same call recording disclosure if you heard that. So now the call came in. There's no soft phone, so I can search for the record. So now I'm answering the call outside of Salesforce, outside of Fastcall, because I routed the call to my mobile phone. If you can hear, lots of phones are ringing. That's my mobile phone. There you go. So, and then voicemail picked up. So when a call is routed to a hard phone, you'll see the notification, and here was that call. I can still log that call if I in Salesforce in Fastcall, but I'm answering it outside of Fastcall. So depending upon what I pick as my call receiver, the soft phone, I'm answering it in Salesforce and Fastcall. If I route the call to a hard phone, Office and or mobile, I'm getting the notification here, but I'm not answering the call here. Okay. So in terms of, I mentioned the call recording disclosure is in here. Your call recording options are in here. I won't go into those. I just kind of wanted to talk about sort of the setup options. And of course, we have this information online. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the more advanced setup is for either the ACD or the IVR, and we have separate information on those. Okay, so please email us with any questions, support@fastcall.com, and thank you very much for watching the demo.